The linear timeline of modern science begins with an explosion and ends in a cold void. Hindu cosmology describes a different reality, an endless, breathing rhythm of creation and collapse, where time has no beginning and no end. Ancient texts describe a primordial state of unmanifest potential, visualized as the god Vishnu in cosmic sleep upon an infinite serpent. As he dreams, a lotus grows from his navel, and Brahma, the creator, awakens on its petals to bring the universe into form. This circular timeline illustrates the sheer scale of the Hindu cosmic day. What we consider the entire history of our universe is just a single day for Brahma, lasting 4.32 billion years. Against this wheel, all of human history doesn't register as a single pixel. When that day concludes, the universe dissolves back into the cosmic ocean. This cycle repeats 36,000 times across Brahma's lifespan, creating a timeline that humbles modern cosmology. This staggering scale is meant to strip away human self-importance. It reduces every empire and every achievement to a microscopic speck inside a machine that has been spinning forever. Shiva, the destroyer, facilitates cosmic renewal. He clears the board, breaking down exhausted structures so that new life has the space to emerge. This is the Tandava, Shiva's cosmic dance. It represents an eternal rhythm where creation, preservation, and destruction happen simultaneously within every atom of existence. Ancient Sanskrit manuscripts documented these cycles of galactic death and rebirth millennia before modern physics confirmed the life cycles of stars. This leaves us with a difficult existential question. If our reality is a temporary, repeating pattern inside an infinite cosmic cycle, does an individual human life possess any meaning? The answer lies in the concept of Leela, or divine play. The universe exists because a single consciousness deliberately fragments itself, shattering into countless pieces to experience reality through infinite different forms. For this play to function, the fragments must forget their origin. This cosmic forgetting is called avidya, the moment an individual soul begins to believe it is separate from the rest of the universe. This logic tree illustrates how isolation creates suffering. On the left, Western duality sets good and evil in permanent war. On the right, Hindu non-duality shows a unified circle fragmenting. Believing it is alone, the disconnected fragment acts out of fear, greed, and hatred. In this tradition, evil exists as an internal direction, a deliberate turning away from the truth. It is the darkness occurring when a soul closes its eyes to its own divine connection. The great demons of Hindu mythology, the Asuras, were originally beings of light. They fell into darkness through their choices, showing how pride can swallow a celestial soul. The demon king Ravana functions as a magnified reflection of the human ego. His 10 heads represent a brilliant intellect that has become a trap for pride, showing exactly how a soul becomes lost when it refuses to surrender to its divine source. When fierce deities like Shiva or Kali engage in destruction, they are performing an act of profound compassion. They are slaughtering the false ego so the true self can finally breathe. These cosmic wars represent internal labor, required to awaken the soul from the grip of avidya. Every mythic blow struck by gods is a metaphor for the discipline needed to shatter the ego and restore connection to the whole. If this divine presence is the very ground of our being, why do we feel so disconnected from it? The story of Arjuna on the battlefield tells us that even standing physically next to God, a human requires a new perceptional system, a divine eye, to process reality without breaking down. The ancient texts describe the divine as sukshma, meaning subtle and delicate. It does not perform for an audience. Perceiving it requires a state of intense, unwavering mental stillness. Contrast that requirement with the hyper-distracted state of the modern mind. We are constantly reacting to notifications and self-generated noise, leaving no space for the subtle signal of the divine to be heard. The gods didn't leave, and the miracles didn't stop. Our internal receivers are simply jammed by the noise of our own lives. The Upanishad's deepest teaching is 3 words: Tat Tvam Asi. That thou art. The consciousness you use to search for the divine is the target. The awareness processing these words is identical to the cosmic soul dreaming the universe. Hindu philosophy identifies your life as a purposeful act of divine play. Consciousness deliberately fragments itself into your form so it can experience the thrill of rediscovering its own infinite nature through a human lens. This philosophy invites you to recognize your own nature as the universe waking up to itself. By setting aside the noise of the modern world, you begin the process of remembering what you have always been.